So I'm back for my next UFC predictions video. This one is a great excitement. So glad that neither of the people have got injured yet. We still have a week to go, so there could still be misery and disappointment, but not expecting it. Now, this is headlined by TJ Dillashaw and Renan Barão. TJ Dillashaw doesn't get enough praise for what he did, okay? Renan Barão, very, very serious fighter indeed, okay? And winning, as he did to get the championship, this is TJ Dillashaw I'm talking about, was no mean feat. And he has sort of proved his legitimacy for those who just thought it was some sort of fluke accidental win. And that was when he fought Joe Soto, which was after his fight to gain the championship. So he's already captured the division and defended it once. And I don't think that you can say that head kicks and punches or whatever, that I don't think you can say that that's some sort of fluke. I think that he's just very, very underrated, or has been very, very underrated. I'm not really sure why. I think maybe because he hasn't fought much in the way of top calibers before then. It came as a little bit of a shock that actually he is a top caliber. He just hasn't had the sort of ability or the provision, I suppose, to show that. Now, when it comes to Renan Barão, his record is much, much greater. 33-2 versus, where are we, 12-2. And to his credit, he too has had to fight once before getting a rematch. It's a fight that he won. Ooh, sorry, there's a taxi that's just pulled up outside my house. And a man has appeared from nowhere. I think he was waiting at the top of my terrace and probably listening to all that, but there we are, because it's so hot I've got my windows open and my door open, so... Anyway, so yes, whereas the one thing that you can say about Renan Barão is that he has fought top calibers going back, several years now, at least 3 or 4. You're talking Uriah Faber, Eddie Wineland, so we know that he's a top caliber. That's why, to me, this fight is going to be fantastic. I personally think, and hope, I suppose, that TJ Dillashaw wins this, mainly because I'd like him to get the recognition that I think he deserves. But I wouldn't be crying myself to sleep if Renan Barão won, because I think that he's absolutely top quality as well. I'm so glad that they are on the top of the card. I'm so glad that they are fighting on a decent card. And I'm so glad that neither of them so far have got injured, so we don't have to worry about putting it off and interim titles and all that shite. The next bout on the card is Miesha Tate and Jessica Eye. Number 2 versus number 5. I shall go for the cupcake there, who is ranked number 2. Edson Barboza is fighting Paul Felder. Felder has a unbeaten record. He's got a perfect record of 10 and is generally on the feet. 15-3 for Edson, who is also on the feet, although according to statistics, not as good. I personally think that's bollocks, but there we are. Because I expect that Edson Barboza will win this one. Joe Lauzon and Takanori Gomi. It's sort of a little bit of a blast from the past, this, because Takanori Gomi not as good as he used to be, has to be said. 35-10 is his record. And Joe, I haven't seen him fight in a while. Don't know why, don't know where he's been. He was, he had a rise. He got a certain way and then I guess he sort of stalled. But he's still around, obviously. And I think that he will probably win this one. I think he could probably win this on the ground as well. And I think it would be a good name to have under his belt even at this stage. The mid-card, Gian Vellante is fighting Tom Lawler. Ranked 15 is Gian. I don't know who's going to win this one. Don't know. I'll go for Jim Vellante, but I wouldn't be surprised if I was wrong on that one. Jim Miller and Danny Castillo, another good fight, this one. Another good fight. You're going to have Danny Castillo fighting mainly on the feet, whereas Jim Miller is going to be on the ground. Pretty deadly on the ground. Will probably win this one, but maybe not. I suspect what's going to happen is this one is going to go to a decision. And Danny Castillo generally tends to win the most when it comes down to decision between the two statistically. But I wouldn't like to say. I think the safe option there is probably Jim Miller. But Kenny Robertson and Ben Saunders, 15-3 versus 18-6. This is going to generally be a stand-up war, although Kenny Robertson is also reasonable on the ground according to these statistics. Who do I think will win? I think I might go for Kenny Robertson, but that could be underdog pick of the night. Eddie Wineland and Brian Caraway. Why are both of these people so far down the card? Well, possibly because it's a fantastic card, so better not blame the UFC for that one, but had expected to see them slightly higher. There we are. Eddie Wineland ranked number 6 and Brian Caraway number 12. 19-8 for the latter, 21-10 for the former. It's going to be striker versus groundsman with Brian Caraway on the ground, Eddie Wineland on the feet. Goodness knows who's going to win this one. This could be fight of the night. The safe bet is obviously Eddie Wineland, but it's difficult sometimes when you have to choose one, but you sort of think they're both very good and you like them both. But there we are. So Eddie Wineland it is for that one. Let's go to the bottom of the card. Darren Cruikshank, another person, and James Krause, another two people who should not be quite so far down the card in my opinion, but is a brilliant card, so there we are. And we've got where are we? We've got 16-6 for Darren Cruikshank, 21-7 for James Krause. It's difficult to tell what this might entail. Statistically, it's going to be Darren on his feet, James on the ground, but who knows, to be totally honest. I do like Darren Cruikshank, whoops, I do. But James Krause, I think, hasn't had the best of times recently. Maybe I am wrong there, but I have a funny feeling, let me just check, because I hate to be wrong about these sort of things. But I had a funny feeling that he did. Yes, I'm right. Loss, win, loss, loss. Although the recent two losses are both decision, one being split. I had a feeling that he'd had a bit of a rough patch recently. I think he's very good. I do think he's very good. And arguably, I wonder if those decisions are bum decisions. I'm hoping that he wins this one, to be fair. Let's move on to the next one. Ramsey Najim and Andrew Holbrook. Andrew Holbrook, 100% submission according to this, with a perfect record of 9. Ramsey, 10-4. This will be underdog pick of the night, because I'll go for Andrew Holbrook here. Another woman's bout. Jessamine Duke and Elizabeth Phillips, no idea. No idea. And Zach Cummings and Dominique Steele. I think Zach Cummings will win this one, and again, someone who possibly shouldn't be at the bottom of the card. But it is one of the better cards that the UFC have done in quite some time, I think, and laid out properly, albeit with a few people that have slidden maybe slightly down the card that, should be higher, but there we are. You can't have everything. So those are my predictions, and I'll be back for the next one.